According to a recent report, employee stress cost the Australian economy $14.81 billion in 2008. It is assumed that this figure would certainly have increased over the course of the global financial crisis. Although businesses want to get the best from their employees, it seems that employers' attempts to achieve higher productivity can result in more negative effects, such as workplace disruption, rising levels of sick leave, and high staff turnover. These effects have been described as employee burnout. Karen Dixon is a human resources officer, and she is with me today to talk about why burnout happens, what the signs are, and what employees can do to help. Karen, what is burnout?
Well, burnout is what happens when people feel overwhelmed by the amount of work they're given to do or by increased work responsibilities. Most people can deal with peaks in their workload, but problems start when people can't see an end and feel they are dealing with it on their own. For example, employees can feel that the resources and support they are given do not match the amount of work they have to do. And if that situation goes on, they can use up their reserves of physical and emotional energy until they have nothing left in the tank. So eventually something has to give.
So, how can employers recognise that burnout is happening amongst their staff?
This can be difficult, certainly. Generally, the signs of employee burnout that managers need to look for include loss of motivation, skipping work or coming in late, and getting into arguments with colleagues, as well as fatigue due to lack of sleep. There are also ways of identifying whether the organisation's workforce as a whole is under stress.
Okay, can you give me any specific details of these ways for the workplace as a whole?
Well, in fact, there are a number of ways, but to give you just three, the first thing managers can do is regularly measure the engagement of their people, and that is often best done by an independent third party. Professional companies that specialise in assessing the levels of potential or existing stress in employees. Surveys can indicate existing and emerging problems and pinpoint areas of particular stress. Secondly, analysing leave patterns can be a useful indicator. In particular, a lot of Mondays being taken off as sick leave can be a sign that something is wrong. It can also become problematic if an employee has not taken annual leave for an extended period of time. Of course, that might mean that they are just trying to save up leave for an extra long break, or it might mean they don't feel they can leave their desk out of a sense of duty or because the work will just pile up and be waiting for them when they return. However, thirdly, I think the easiest way for employees to find out is to ask staff. Open lines of communication are really important. Sometimes just showing interest and concern can make employees open up.
What can businesses do then to address the problem?
Some companies have become sufficiently aware of the importance of leave that they have broadened the available options. For instance, they might allow staff to purchase additional leave of up to 2 weeks a year. Similarly, some companies offer programs to help employees manage their health, stress levels, and work-life balance at no extra cost. Flexible hours have also been shown to reduce the stress that underpins burnout.
Okay, what kind of professions in particular are there where employees are more likely to experience these levels of burnout?
Office employees are often seen as the most susceptible to burnout, but there are other sectors at risk. Teachers and nurses are good candidates for burnout. They have to try and maintain a happy face under often difficult conditions. And regardless of how the employee feels about what is actually happening in the workplace, or indeed in their life in general, this personal effort can generate tremendous pressure over time. A shortage of resources is seen as a main source of stress in these jobs, and resentment builds up when there is a heavy administrative burden that is seen as unconnected to the job of helping people. In the end, some employees respond to all this stress by simply tuning out. They turn up and do the minimum amount of work and don't care if it is done properly or not. They are there, but not there. The cost of this to an organisation can be enormous, but hidden.
Well, listen, thanks again, Karen. Clearly there is a human and, well, financial cost to the issue.